And a big welcome back to Snetterton in Norfolk. It's Thundersport GB here at Snet, and the next race up, the LMB Streetfighters, 3 classes, A, B and C. Class A, the big powerful stuff. Class C with the least available power, and Class B, somewhere in the middle. There's Keith Smith on pole position. Alongside him, the MV Augusta of Sean Goldsmith. Then number 30, Barry Utting, the Class B championship leader. And on the outside of the front row of that grid, a returnee, Lee Hardy. Good to see him back on that big Suzuki. Number 12, it's watch the lights time. Sid goes walkabout there with his red flag. And the red lights go on. They go out, and away go the grid. And it's a good start from all concerned. Particularly good start, I think, further back by the Street Fighter C protagonists, who are racing for double points this weekend, Steve.
Yes, double points for today, especially, and Tony Hughes not being here means that Duncan McMillan and Brad Davey have got a good chance to close in, and that's good news for the neutrals, because that was looking like a runaway lead for Tony Hughes. Interesting to see a lot of the riders picking wet tyres for this race, a declared wet race once again. But as we've seen throughout the day, with the sun coming out and the wind blowing, the circuit's drying rather quickly, so we may see a couple of different results, shall we say. Yes,
see who's second-guessed the weather gods. Never the easiest thing to do in racing. Keith Smith from that pole position does not get away in the lead. They run out from Oggies towards Williams and then onto the Bentley straight and pour down towards us. Now then, this is where they really turn on the taps and the power will begin to show. It's still Sean Goldsmith that leads on the MV Augusta, and Lee Hardy up there with Dave Milling as they come towards the bomb hole. There's number 30, Barry Utting, the Street Fighter B championship leader, and there Keith Smith leading the Street Fighter A standings, but not such a good start this time for Mr. Potato Head, Steve.
No, he's got full wets on, and you can see from the circuit it's not full wet conditions, and well, having said that, he just goes up the inside of Barry Utting. He'll be looking for any loose water sitting on the circuit just to cool his tyres down, because they'll just get chewed up. There'll be no grip left on them, and it'll be very difficult. So he'll be hoping for the rain to fall again just to rejuvenate his tyres. It is Goldsmith that leads ahead of Hardy then. There's Milling and then Smithy.
Well, of course, it could very easily work out for Keith, because we've had races where we've had sun, rain, and that's all within the one race. So it could play into his hands. At the moment, obviously, Barry Utting leading Class B, but there's a great scrap going on between Nigel Davis, Rob Norman and Chris Pickersgill, the ex-Thundersport 500 runner. They're having a smashing battle for second and third places in Class B.
I've got a feeling Smithy might actually have a dry rear on and a wet front, which is something that you are allowed to do under wet race conditions, and that might just be the perfect combination here, because it gives you the confidence in the front tyre going into corners, but it does mean that if the circuit is drying, that you can really crack on the power early. So maybe he was just feeling his way around those first couple of laps, because he certainly started to pick up the pace a bit here.
Yeah, certainly down to business, coming under the bridge into Brundle. Then through Nelson. Of course, all, or the majority, let's say, of the new corners and straights here at Snetterton have been named after local dignitaries or for local reasons as well. Some of them have a slightly broader message, but by and large, Nelson, Hamilton, Brundle, they're all very much local to Snetterton circuit. The exception, of course, being Montreal. Do you know why Montreal's called Montreal?
I have a fair idea. Is it something to do with the Montreal hairpin?
Certainly is. The last hairpin on the Ile de Saint-Laurent circuit in Montreal. And I think they used GPS or something to measure the exact curvature of that hairpin and replicated it here at Snetterton. But it's certainly a great new facility here, this redeveloped circuit. And the Street Fighters are loving it at the moment, as long as they got the right tyres on, of course.
Yeah, we just see a shot there of Rob Pragnell going through Martin Smith. Barry Rogers out there. There's number 86, Gary Cook, just making his way around Ritchie's.
And still a good battle at the head of Street Fighter C. Brad Davey and Duncan McMillan continuing in this race where they left off in the previous one. Duncan McMillan getting the better of Brad Davey in that one, but well, we'll see as the leaders come back towards us. There's Keith Smith.
Yeah, championship leader just behind Dave Milling, who really is doing very well here. Barry Utting, incidentally, lapping a lot quicker than Keith Smith. And with the last lap flag and the checkered flag being readied, could he manage to get himself up ahead of Smithy?
He'd absolutely love that. Barry has not had that much close competition in Street Fighter B. Loves playing with the bigger, more powerful bikes. And there, the checkered flag out. Dave Milling takes in. Barry Utting does get up. Look, there he is, number 30. Yes, nodding. He loves that. To finish in second place overall and winning Street Fighter B. Just ahead of Keith Smith. There they are. Milling, Utting, Smith. Lee Hardy on his return, an excellent fourth place. Then Nigel Davis got up to finish fifth ahead of Rob Norman. And on the Street Fighter A podium, we see Dave Milling, Keith Smith and Lee Hardy. There's the standings. Keith Smith leading it handsomely from Steve Bradbury, Sean Goldsmith, Andy Denyer, Chris Dixon and Gary Cook. And on the Street Fighter B podium, well, they're the winner in the middle. Barry Utting, along with Nigel Davis, second, and Rob Norman, third. And in their standings, well, Barry Utting, once again, a big lead at the front, ahead of Barry Rudge, Rob Norman, Rob Pragnell. Mark Lum is fifth, Mick Riddle, sixth. In Street Fighter C, well, the winner there eventually was number 14, Brad Davey from Duncan McMillan, and Keith Warren. And in the C standings, well, Tony Hughes still has a little lead there from Brad Davey and Duncan McMillan, Keith Warren, Mick Everett, and Gary Paul.
Winner of that race, Dave Milling. Quite a nice little scrap there in the Street Fighter A category with Keith Smith, and Barry Utting joined in the fun as well.
Yeah, it was super, it was great. It was set it off. I had intermediate tyres on, they both had wets on. So I just give it time for their tyres to wear out and then started ticking them off. It was good.
Difficult conditions this weekend though.
Yeah, I had a big off yesterday, about 130, so yeah, it was a bit sore.
Anyone to thank at all, Dave?
I'd like to thank Mandy, Smeg, Carlo and Alex for helping us put the bike back together yesterday. That was good. He'll put me instead for the Manx. I'm doing the Manx in a couple of weeks' time.
Well, good luck to you in that, and hope to see you up here again soon. We'll move on to Street Fighter C winner Brad Davey. Brad, double points on offer this or today, and you got yourself on the top step. And I hear Duncan went grass tracking.
Yeah, he did a bit of a wally there, and he sort of gave it to me on the plate.
Keith Smith, thank you very much indeed. Carry on, Brad. Sorry.
Yeah, I fell asleep in the first race. Didn't get off the line very well. Duncan got away from me. Decided to make a real good move on the start of this one, got away, made the right choice on tyres, well, thought I had, still had a wet front, which started pushing and sliding around a bit, but it went well, couldn't have asked for any more.
And do you have anyone to thank at all, Brad?
Yeah, Brian at